What would happen if I gave a single club down in the lower leagues of the Australian pyramid unlimited money? Well, that's what we're going to find out in this video. I have given my local team, actually, the mighty Pine Rivers, I have given them unlimited money, put them in the Australian footballing pyramid like we did in that last video. So I'll put that back there if you want to go check that video out and see how the league systems work. But this is what's going to happen, and I'll just show you what I've done to the team first. Alright, so as you can see here, Pine Rivers are in the 7th tier of Australian football, so they've got a lot of ground to make up, but they've got the unlimited budget. So let me just show you what I've done there. So if I go to club details, you can see, so I have actually given them a higher attendance and a highest club attendance record, just, so they can get more tickets through the gate as well. A bit of extra money. And then the finances, I've absolutely maxed out the finances. They've almost got 2 billion in the bank. They've almost got 2 billion as a transfer budget, and their wage budget is almost $10 million. So they shouldn't run out of money anytime soon, but just in case, I've given them basically a $2 billion stadium sponsor, $2 billion kit sponsor, and $2 billion council grant and investment from the council. So they're not going to run out of money anytime soon. So let's fast forward 10 years and see where the Pine Rivers Club is at in 10 years.
10 years later.
We're 10 years in the future now, into our unlimited money simulation for Pine Rivers. And they have climbed a lot since we last checked in. If we go back to their overview. So I have just realized whilst editing this that my face cam has covered the start of every graph for the rest of this video. So I do apologize. In this first clip, they do start where we left them off in the Fox Sports League 2. So yeah, apologies, and I'll try my best to describe it for you all every time. So this is where we started off. We started off in League 2. It took them a couple of seasons to get out of League 2. And then ever since then, it's just been a steady increase. Got promoted in 25-26 to the Fox Sports League 1. And then got promoted again the next couple seasons later in 27-28. And then automatic straight up first place in the Conference League, which puts them into the professional leagues. And then Professional League 2, it took them a few seasons to get them out. And then they dominated the league at that season. And then they're currently in League 1, so they're in the 3rd tier of Australian football, so they've climbed 4 divisions in the last 10 years. Let's have a look at just at their money spent. Let's just go back to where we started. They didn't spend any money the first couple of seasons, barely spent any the 3rd season. So they haven't been blowing their budgets out of the water. 120k, that's probably the most substantial we'll see. I'd imagine 96k spent there. Yeah, once again, 475k, that's a big one. A lot of money spent on youth development, so I guess that's where their money's going at the moment. Yeah, other than that, there hasn't been many big spending seasons, considering they're probably one of the richest clubs in Australian football. If we have a look at the records, we can see that they scored 113 points in one season. Let's just have a look at that season. So 31-32, so a couple of seasons ago now, 113 points, only 23 conceded, 81 goals scored, only 1 loss. That's incredible. Almost had an undefeated season which was the NPL League 2. So they've come a long way since then. And they look like they've kind of petered out for the last couple of seasons in League 1. So, maybe in another 10 years, they can, find all the way up to the A-League and, be one of the dominant teams in the league. They don't really have many outstanding players that they've signed from big clubs. The only ones I've really seen, Ollie Sale is now playing for them. He's been playing them for 3 years after a long stint at Perth Glory. And the only other one is Thiago Quintal, who's currently a Sydney FC junior, and he's only joined in the last couple of years. So other than that, they haven't been, like we've seen, they haven't been spending a lot of money on just their overall players. You know, their youth facilities gone up, their training facilities is almost a 5-star now, and their finances aren't going anywhere. So if we just have a look at their club details, they've actually started to make more money. Like they've got a wage budget now of 11.5 million. It was only 10 when we first started. Their transfer budget now 5 billion. It was only 2 when we first started, and their bank balance is 20 billion, and it was only 2 when we first started. So, you know, they're not shy of money, of course, Pine Rivers, but we'll see in another 10 years, and hopefully we can see them in the top of the Australian pyramid.
One eternity later.
Here we are 20 years in the future of this unlimited money simulation for Pine Rivers. And as to be expected, they are in the A-League. They have been in the A-League now. This is their first season. After dropping back out of the A-League, they spent a couple of years back at the championship, you know, fishing around those playoffs again. But they spent 1 season in the A-League before, got relegated in 2038-39, but they only got relegated by 2 points, so a very rough relegation there for Pine Rivers. But they're back after finishing second in the recent league, only just beaten out by Newcastle Jets as well. And they also got promoted with MacArthur. But yeah, last time we left them, it was the start of the NPL 1 2033, so they got promoted after a couple of years of that, came first in the league, 103 points, dominated the league, and then they came second the first time they got promoted to the A-League as well. So there's been a lot of change here for Pine Rivers over the last 10 years. Let's have a look at their transfer in the last 10 years. A lot of 120k, 1.3 million, so they really tried to get promoted last season. So the last couple of years, last few years, they've spent a lot of money. They're starting to splurge a bit. Pine Rivers, 2.7, 4 million. 4 million. Wow. I think that was the year they got promoted to the championship. So yeah, they're starting to spend big. 4 million, 1 million, 3 million, 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, 3 million, 2 million, only 400k, but we're still in pre-season of this season as well. So they're starting to spend a lot of money here, Pine Rivers. They average around 14k now, so that's massive. Let's just check the club finances to see if it hasn't gone down a bit. Yeah, so average attendance is about 18k at the moment. That's crazy. Finances, wow. Yeah, their finances haven't gone down, so that's a good thing to see. Make sure they're still getting their incomes coming through. So, yeah, they've had a good start. They've, you know, bounced around between the championship and the A-League now. So let's go forward another 10 years and see if they become one of the dominant teams in the A-League.
Day 2.
Okay, here we are 30 years in the future now. 2053. Pine Rivers, they have been a bit of a yo-yo club in the last 10 years. They've gone up and down twice since we last checked in. So last we checked in, they were about to go into their first A-League season after getting promoted. They got relegated the next season, spent a couple of years back down in the championship, promoted again, relegated again, promoted again, and looks like they've kind of steadied themselves in the A-League at the moment. They've spent 3 good seasons in there, finishing 15th, 13th, and 7th last season. So they're on the rise finally in the A-League. A lot of clubs in these kind of simulations do struggle in the A-League, so looks like they've finally got it down pat with, you know, staying in the league at the moment. They haven't continued to stop spending the money. They have been absolutely splashing the cash, especially on those young players. It looks like that is their philosophy, which is, as we've seen with the Mariners recently, a good place to start. So 10 million, 5 million, 10 million, 5 million, 15 million. And that's a $7 million transfer for one player from an NPL side. So looks like the talent's finally developing in the NPL and getting recognized. 5 million again, another 12 million, another 15 million. There's really a lot of cash being splashed around at the moment by Pine Rivers. And yeah, another 12 million. And we're only just starting preseason in this current season, and they've already spent another 900k, pretty much 2 million by the time the transfers all paid out. So they're really splashing the cash, and who's to blame them? They have unlimited money. If we check out the club details, they're averaging about 24k at home, so they really are pushing their club attendance up even further than I expected, to be completely honest. Finances, they are still well healthy. They've still got heaps of money. So once again, who blames them for splurging the cash on these players? But they've already established themselves in the A-League, Pine Rivers. So we come back one final time in another 10 years to figure out how high they can make it in the A-League. Maybe they can make it an Asian tournament in the future. So let's fast forward another 10 years. That's going to be our final stop in this video. Okay, we're now 40 years into the future, and our final check-in for this video, 2063. Now, over the last 10 years, they've become a pretty stable A-League club, Pine Rivers, sitting around the mid-table. The highest they finished was 6th, which is a pretty good season. But unfortunately, this season, they have been relegated from the A-League. They finished last, 22 points in the last season. So, they had a good stint whilst they were available in the A-League, but it just wasn't meant to be. A-League still being dominated by current A-League clubs, really. You look at the table, the top 10 are all A-League clubs, and all 12 of them are still in there, so pretty hard to break those top few. When they finish 6th, that's probably the most impressive I've seen them do in this save. Obviously they're 113 points earlier in the save, but finishing 6th in the A-League I think is more impressive, considering they're not one of these stable clubs. And they still have continued to splash the cash, 5 million here, 36 million one season. So they really were trying to stay in the league and compete. So they spent 7 million, 5 million, 5 million, 4 million on some decent players there. So they aren't afraid to splash cash, as we've seen in the last couple of maybe 20, 30 years, especially the last 20 years. I think that's been the real, when they've started to push it out, and they're actually making a bit off sales as well, like 10 million in the last transfer window. So they're not just splashing the cash and getting nothing in return. They're actually getting the money back for all the players as well. Averaging 20,000 per game now as well. Absolutely insane. They made $1.5 million just off gate receipts in one season. That was 20 years ago though. In 2041 they made 1.46 million. That's insane. Highest attendance, home attendance, was against Western United in the A-League in 2044, so that's a while ago now. The most they paid for a player was 6.5 million. Highest transfer fee received was 7.5 million to Brisbane Roar as well. So a lot of money spent, a lot of money coming in the last few years. But there we have it. There is what happens if you give Pine Rivers Athletic 40 years and unlimited money. So there we go. There is the end of this experiment. Now this may be the video I've worked on the longest. It took a couple of days just to record. It was a very long time of simulating, but I think it was all worth it. I think the video came out pretty well. So if you could like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these videos. They do take a lot of effort to make, and I really would appreciate the support as well. To let me know if you guys actually enjoy watching these as well. So thank you all for watching. Make sure you do like and subscribe like I said before. And until next time, I'll see you soon.